Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In today's video we have a special build for you. It is a swing stacking damaging build. It thrives on I would say about mid overlord cycles, but it is strong enough to get through a curse 7 run. Now this one does require quite a few levels in quite a few of the characters, mainly the barbarian, the assassin and the spellblade. Now what we can actually go take a look at them quickly. You need the barbarian's third weapon, the assassin's third weapon, as well as the spellblade's fourth weapon to unlock all of the skills necessary for this build. The next thing you need is a couple of levels in the arcane weaver, because for this build to work the way that we want it to, you also need in his tree to take this node so that you have exposed on hit chance. So that's why we are using it. Everything else for the build, we are running arcane blade, fan of bombs, the fiery blade, subdue and thundering slash. All of them work on stacking negative debuffs and then smacking them as hard as you can. It doesn't remove the negative debuffs, so it will infinitely get stronger and stronger as long as you keep applying those debuffs. So how do we get them? The exposed is on the arcane weaver as a passive. Fragility is going to be from frailty, as well as like poison to like gangrene, as well as other things like that. Gangrene is actually fragility to bleed, so we will use that for subdue, as well as using misfortune's embrace for the bleed, as well as the doom to get the bleed, as well as doom to dazed, which we need for thundering slash, and then spontaneous combustion for the fiery blades, as well as misfortune's embrace for the burn. So we are running swing mastery with these 5 skills: swing, inclination, and then unconventional start, so that we can start with one of these skills. And then the other 3 are just personal preference. We're running multicast mastery, crit mastery, and vulnerable target. You can run any 3 other runes you want. I would suggest misfortune's embrace for the easy bleed stacks for subdue, but that you can change as well as if you feel lucky and you're going to get your gangrene and your brutal strikes really early. But otherwise, misfortune's embrace, good chance of getting bleed. Now, the one thing about this build is it was not possible to do, or it was very, very low possibility of getting these skills on a single character, especially someone like the Arcane Weaver, where you need the exposed, because there are actually 30 swing skills in the game. So if you used swing mastery, you would add 8 of those 30 randomly into the pool, which would change every single overlord cycle. So there is a very low chance of finding the 5 exact skills you wanted in a single run. So very, very difficult. There are only 5 banishes. There's 30 skills. You would need to banish 25 of them to get the 5 exact swing skills you wanted. So very, very difficult, especially on someone like the Arcane Weaver, where they don't have any swing archetype skills at all. So let's, with that in mind, do know that this is only possible because of the swing mastery changes. But with all that in mind, let's go into a curse 7 run, straight into it. It's been a while since we've done a high tier run, and we're starting off with subdue over here. Probably not the best start. You can see it doesn't even one-shot any mobs in the very beginning. So this is going to be a rough start, but that's okay. Rough starts are alright. Another great thing about the Arcane Weaver that they actually changed about a patch or 2 ago is the mana crystals are now automatically picked up after when you walk over them. Another great thing about this build is that the ascension for the Arcane Weaver is actually really, really strong. It gives us over 100% multi-cast chance, as well as 50% damage boost, and those are multiplicative bonuses, so it's actually a huge amount of multicast as well as damage. So a really, really strong build, really, really great. The other thing is we've got a 6 slot open. You can use like Arcane Shield if you feel like you're quite weak. But I like to use the Arcane Power for even more multicast, or if you feel like you need more damage, you can go for Might as well. So very strong choice options that we've got over here. We do want the fiery blades over there, so we did just lock it. So that's fantastic. We do have a legendary damage upgrade over there, which I'm going to lock. And that's going to cause us problems. Luckily, the skill won't be the next run. It will be the one after it. I mean level. So we don't have to worry about picking up a passive or skill there and having to lock again. So that's really turned out to be quite good over there. But there's Thundering Slash. Obviously, running Swing Inclination makes it so that we do get those swing skills on the level ups a little bit more frequently. And then over here we're gonna have to re-roll. We are looking for our, what's the last skill? Arcane Blade, which is weird. We should have found it. There we go. I probably should have just taken the Arcane Power when we had it. We'll grab Mart for now and see what it's like. We do actually get quite a lot of multicast chance from our Ascension. However, having the extra multicast from Arcane Power is very handy. So we might look at that and go from there. Kind of double dips in multicast, especially for the fiery blades, because they gain the buff because they are allies, they summons, and then they gain the buff from our character sheet as well. So I would have to double check that with the developers, but it does feel or seem like it does double dip into the damage, you know, that way, and that's actually quite cool. So very interesting little thing happening over there, and it might actually be well worth it, you know, getting things like that where the Ascension and the stat page as well as like Arcane Power double dip into multicast for specific skills or summons at least. So I need to double check on that, but if it is that way, I mean, it makes sense to work that way, very strong to work that way. But I don't know if it is coded that way or not, but it makes sense to me to work like that. So going Arcane Power would then be relatively stronger than Might, although the damage buff is very good as well. And it would actually work the same way for Might as well, where it works on nearby allies, so it gains the damage from Might itself, and then it gains the damage again because of having it inside our character stats. So because summons work off of character stats as well, it's double dipping there. We want even more area of effect on these skills. We need to take a Doom so we can get Doom to Dazed. I'm actually happy with Mart this run. We will take a look at how it feels and go from there. We need a Spurn stack, that's perfect. A cast frequency over there, and grab a Venomous so that we can get Venom to, I think it's Fragility. And then, oh no, it's a poison to Doom, and then we can go Doom to Dazed. So let's see how that works out. I think for us, Brutal Strikes and Impending Doom are going to be the hardest ones to get. Getting Hypothermia is relatively easy. We just need a Slow over there, which we've now got, and that's going to give us more fragility for our fan of bombs. We do have the Frailty upgrades as well, which we can grab, which are going to give us the fragility stacks to help with that as well. So there's the Frailty, there's Gangrene from Fragility to Bleed. Did we have a stack? We do have one already, so I'm going to go with the Multicast instead, just because we don't need that many bleed stacks. I mean, Subdue is great, but it's not as strong as the other skills anyway, so it's okay if we don't really stack that much bleed on the targets. If we landed up getting Brutal Strikes, then that would be perfect. Otherwise, we aren't too stressed about certain skills. I already know which ones are going to be the Outshiners and the Outdoers. Obviously, having summons, which are swing as well as stackers, are fantastic. So you can already tell they're going to be doing a lot of the damage. But a lot of the damage as well works off of how many stacks you apply as well as the area of effect. So because we have to work on a bit of area of effect, and because it's on a high curse, I keep the visuals down. Otherwise we keep seeing all the explosions all over the place. Not so great for clearing it. Although we could probably do this without worrying about visuals, to be honest. We are so strong already, you can see. A nice thing about these kinds of builds as well is that it applies the negative effects before it applies the damage numbers. So the game is coded in a way that you'll apply all the stacks first on your first hit, and then the damage will apply afterwards. So if the enemy doesn't have any, let's say, burn stacks, as long as you have a high chance to apply burn, then you'll first apply burn stacks and then apply the damage. So you are always going to deal more damage than just a normal attack or skill that isn't a stacking ability. So just, you know, interesting way of how the developers coded it. It's actually really, really clever. Alright, we're in a good spot. We're nearly finished. I think I landed up taking a movement speed. That was a misclick. I'm sure my mouse was over it, but you can see like just over there, even though my mouse is on like over onto the lethality side, if I had to click now, it's going to click on venomous. So that was a bit unfortunate. Wasn't meant to click on that. We did land up getting our brutal strikes, which is fantastic. We are on 100% crit as well, but we do have crit mastery, so we can just put points into crit chance, and that's going to give us crit multi as well, or crit damage as well. So it doesn't hurt to grab as much crit as possible going forward. And then as you can see, we have so much multicast. Maybe I need to do this build again. If you guys really want to, if we can hit let's say 100 likes on this video, and then we'll do the build again on a lower curse where we show the visuals of everything and we show you just how the multicast works. We won't work on cast frequency. We'll only use multicast as a buffer to keep the skill going until it reaches the next cast of the skill, and see just you know, if we're able to do that maybe as a silly Saturday this weekend or something like that. But again, let's hit 100 likes on this video and get that going so that we can show you just how we can multicast chain all the way from one cast to the next ability's cast. And we'll try and use an ability that has a decent amount of cooldown reduction. So it I mean, not a decent amount, so it has like a 6 second or you know, something like that, quite a high cooldown, and go from there. Quite an interesting little idea, quite a fun, silly idea. But again, gonna need your guys' support on this video idea. So if you want to see it, smash that like button. Alright, so this is the final boss. You can actually see that we are just over a 6-minute run with this. Just insanely strong for something that's quite a meme little build, or at least the thematic build. 6 minutes and 6 seconds, really strong, a very good build. Unfortunately, we didn't get the Doom to Daze like we wanted to. It would have been really good, but it didn't really matter. Obviously, Thundering Slash's damage is going to be a lot less than everything else's, but the most important ones are going to be the Fan of Bombs and Fiery Blades. Our Arcane Blade would have got stronger the further we went, and the more cast frequency we got on our skills as well, because the more life the bosses have, the more exposed we can apply, because it is only 10%. But Subdue out doing Thundering Slash, again, at least we did have Bleed, so Subdue could do more damage. But Thundering Slash actually dealing quite a lot of damage, even though we didn't have a single dazed stack on the target. So very difficult to get that one. Fan of Bombs dealing more damage than the Fiery Blades because it does have the range. So that is why, but I think long term, once you start getting more damage and more cast frequency and things like that, Fiery Blades might land up outshining Fan of Bombs. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.